This is Sachin Patel, and today I have two very special guests with me. We're going to be talking about how to improve posture, how to improve breathing. As all of you probably know, the breath is one of the most important things and aspects when it comes to our health. The first thing that we do when we're born is breathe. That's what doctors look for. And when we talk about life, we talk about till your last breath. So breathing is extremely critical. It's something that's overlooked, and it's something that we should be very conscious of because we breathe over 20,000 times per day. So I've got two experts that are going to help us out today and show us some exercises that can help improve both posture and breathing. With me I have Lucy Hendricks, and I also have Dave Rasco. We're here in the Costa Rican jungles, so you might hear some birds chirping, you might see some bugs flying around. We're in a really cool environment. We've been here for about a week now, and it's just been incredible. So I'm going to leave these two experts up to it, and let's start with Lucy sharing some of her insights, and Dave is going to be our model today, and he's going to help demonstrate these exercises. All right, off you go, guys.
Thank you. So I wanted to pick 5 exercises. Since this is going to the internet, I wanted to pick simple exercises that just about anyone can do. And like he said, this is going to help breathing, it's going to help posture, but it's also going to help you position your body in a good way. So if you're training, these 5 exercises are amazing for a warm-up because it gives muscles leverage. And we all want abs, we all want hamstrings, we all want glutes. And so super simple exercises. And we're going to start from the ground up. I like to start warm-ups and progress them that way. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have Dave lay on his back. And we're going to call this a supine dead bug. And Dave, I'm going to have you scoot back a little bit. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to get some hamstrings. So what I'm going to ask Dave to do is I want you to feel your heels on the ground. And I'm going to have you scoop up your pelvis. So think of tucking your tailbone and picking it off the ground. What you don't want to do is overbrace your abs. So think of your hamstrings doing that for you. And if you have a ball, like a 4 to 6 inch ball, I would put that between the knees and have you get some inner thighs. So pretend the ball is right here. I'm going to have Dave tuck his pelvis, so you should feel some hamstrings. In the beginning, you don't want abs. You don't want to overbrace, because what people will do is they'll overcompensate and they'll use rectus abdominis. And rectus abdominis doesn't have that much real estate when it comes to the pelvis and the rib cage, but internal obliques and transverse abdominis, they do. So don't use your abs at first. You should feel some hamstrings, you might feel some butts, and you should really focus on your feet. Now I'm going to have Dave breathe. You're going to breathe in through your nose, and then here's the key. Full exhale out. Get all the air out, keep going, and what you're going to notice, your top ribs are going to start coming down, and you're going to start feeling some abs. Those are the abs we want. Internal obliques, transverse abdominis. Those abs will stabilize the spine. You're going to take a breath in, full exhale out, keep exhaling, you're going to feel your ribs come down. Now the trick here is to keep the ribs down, because what people will do is they'll exhale, and then they'll lose their abs when they take a breath in. So we got hamstrings, we got some butt, we got some abs, then we're going to add a reach, because what the reach will do is it'll bring the rib cage back. You'll activate serratus anterior, which stabilizes the shoulder blades. So you're going to fingertips towards the ceiling. On the next exhale, you're just going to give me a slight reach towards the ceiling. And reach up. Here you want to be careful that you're not using your neck. So if you're reaching and your neck starts to come up, relax the neck. And if your chin ends up being like this when you're laying down, I would add a small pillow. But if you do this exercise every day, you'll notice that your neck's going to be more and more relaxed, and you're going to be able to lay on the ground without needing a pillow. Where do you feel this? Do you feel some abs?
Abs and shoulder blade.
Awesome. You should feel shoulder blades working. Take a breath in again. So we call this supine breathing. You can also call it supine dead bug. A progression would be bringing the legs up, but I actually want hamstrings, I want butt, and I want inner thighs. So start by keeping your feet on the ground. So the sequence with the breathing is in through the nose, and then full exhale out through your mouth. You want to get all the air out. You want to get your ribs to go in internal rotation, which is a state of exhalation. And when those ribs go into internal rotation, you're going to get abs, you're going to get IOs and TAs. Awesome. 2 more. exhale, reach up. If you tend to shrug a little bit, you can actually point slightly down and you're gonna be reaching at an angle so your upper traps don't turn on. So this next exercise, quadruped breathing, and if you're familiar with PRI, it's also called all-forward belly lift. It's the same thing. He was on the ground reaching like this. Now he's gonna get on all fours and he's gonna be doing something very, very similar. So all fours. Perfect. Get your hands slightly forward. A little more. All right, so you're gonna give me a tuck here. You're gonna get some hamstrings. The hamstrings attached to your sit bones all the way below the knee, so we wanna shorten that. We want to give the hamstrings some leverage. And then we're gonna add a reach. What you wanna focus on though, you don't wanna reach through here. You wanna reach up through here because you wanna establish natural kyphosis that most people have lost. And when we get natural kyphosis, we get the shoulder blade to actually stand or sit on a solid rib cage. Because the shoulder blade has a concave feel and the rib cage is convex. When the rib cage is shifted forward, which is what I notice with most people, the shoulder blades lose its home, and that's when we see the winging scapula. So if you have the winging scapula, this is a great exercise for you. You're gonna stabilize the shoulders and give your upper back leverage. So Dave's doing the same breathing. He's breathing in through his nose. And then as he exhales, he's gonna reach long through the ground. You're gonna push your fingers into the ground as well. And you're gonna push up here. Take a breath in. When you breathe in, think of breathing in between the shoulder blades. And you should feel abs. You should feel the shoulders. What you shouldn't feel is neck. So maybe 2 breaths is enough and 5 is too much. So only do what you can. Now, Dave, show me the wrong way to do it. So you don't want to hunch through here. You'll definitely feel abs if you do it this way, but I want shoulder blades to be stable. And that's going to get serratus. That's going to get low trap. And those muscles are super important when it comes to shoulder health. Give me 2 more. Eyes should be looking at the fingers. So you don't want your head to be up, and then you also don't want your chin to be super tucked in. So eyes looking at the fingers. Hypermobile women, make sure when you reach, you're reaching with the shoulder blade instead of hyperextending the elbow. So just be conscious of that. Men too are also hypermobile. How'd that feel?
Excellent.
You feel abs?
Abs, serratus, great.
Now we're gonna do a popular exercise called bird dog. Show me the wrong way to do it, which we see most people do. If you do it this way, you're gonna start using your low back. I don't know if you can see it here, do the other side. His shoulder is not sitting on his rib cage or shoulder blade. It's winging here, so that means it's not sitting on the rib cage. It's not going to have a stable home. So the way we're going to set up is just like the all-4 belly lift or the quadruped breathing. You're going to give me a push here. Make sure you're not shrugging. And then don't break this. Don't lose your abs. This back heel, don't push it up towards the ceiling. Go straight back. That way your back doesn't arch. If this is too hard, you'll just do your arms. So let's do the regress. Push up, give me a tuck without moving anything. Perfect. And what you want to think of here, whatever shoulder is on the ground, that one's getting long. That's reaching. You want to have that nice, stable shoulder. This looks really simple, but he's shaking, sweating, feeling a lot of abs. So if you work on these little details, really simple exercises are actually really challenging, but you're going to get a lot out of it. Perfect. The next one we're going to do is half kneeling, alternating reaching. Life is alternating. We are meant to move from side to side. So do the other leg down. Most people, when they do this position, they actually get way too wide. So bring your foot here and then shift forward. Keep going. Show us the wrong way to do it. This is usually what I see. If the hip is in front of the knee, that means you're just jamming through your hip capsule and you're not actually using muscles, you're kind of just hanging through ligaments. So when you do this position, you want to make sure your hip is right on top of the knee, if not, maybe slightly behind it. So I'm going to rock Dave back a little bit. And then once you rock back, you don't want to lean back with your back, so you're going to get the ribs down with an exhale. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep going. Keep going. You're going to feel hunchy, but if you look at yourself in the mirror, as you can see, Dave, do you feel a little hunchy? Mm-hmm. He's completely straight. Because if we're used to being here, being straight actually feels wrong. Take a few breaths here. This is amazing because it's hip separation. So we've got hip extension on one side, and we got hip flexion on the other side, that's walking. So if you're about to go on a walk, this is a great position to be in. You're gonna feel quad. I actually want your heel to go right here. And now bring it back a little bit, back towards you. Good. I want the knee to go almost on top of the toes, because that's going to allow Dave to feel his whole foot. Life is on your whole foot. Life is not on your toes, and life is not just on the heels. And now I want you to close your eyes. That's optional. He's going to feel a little more unstable. Give me 2 more breaths. And then you can also add an alternating reach. So now you can open your eyes. We're going to practice walking. And just keep breathing. You can also point the hands slightly down so you don't shrug. But this is going to get you alternating. You're going to get some low trap here. You're going to get the rib cage to shift back. Again, another exercise that looks like nothing, but Dave's shaking. Now switch sides. How'd that feel?
Excellent. Challenging.
So hip right on top of the knee. Make sure you don't shift forward. And over here, you want to feel your whole foot. Bring it up a little bit. There we go. Feel that whole foot, and now start reaching. Good. Make sure you don't use your neck for that. So like I said, if you're about to go on a walk, this is an amazing exercise to do. It gets all the muscles working in the right direction, and it gives muscles leverage. He's got some hamstring here, he's got some quad, and that's what you need when you walk. A lot of people will feel knees, they'll feel hip flexors, they'll feel back. So give all these muscles leverage so you can have a successful walk. The next one is a reaching squat. It's a little different than most squats. Usually with a squat, most people are used to having a neutral spine, which I still use that. But this reaching squat, its purpose is to bring the center of gravity back, give you some abs, give you some hamstrings, give you some inner thigh. It's gonna get your pelvic floor to engage. So if you're about to squat heavy, this is a great warm-up squat. And if you're brand new to exercise, this is a good way to start. I'm gonna have Dave elevate his heels, because some people don't have enough ankle motion. And then when you elevate the heels, people have an easier time tucking their tail underneath them. I have you kind of like right here. Yeah, that's good. So the stance is about hip width apart. Again, if I had a ball, I might put a ball between his knees. And then you're gonna hold no more than 10 pounds in front of you. So as you exhale, you're gonna reach, connect the rib cage and the pelvis, and go all the way down until you can relax. Keep going, keep going. And right here, people tend to use their neck a little bit, so you can point the weight down, or you can even almost rest your hands or your arms on your knees. And what you're gonna focus on here, just like the quadruped breathing, you're gonna focus on breathing between the shoulder blades. You want the rib cage to expand back. Breathing should be 360. And most people only breathe through their chest when I want them to breathe through their sides and their back. He's getting his pelvis underneath him. We're going to move on the exhale with this, because exhaling will give you abs. So on the next exhale, you're going to push into the heels and stand up, keeping your pelvis tucked in. Nice. So the goal here is to get the rib cage and pelvis to meet in the middle. All the way down. Let's say you can't get your knees all the way down. Add a chair and only go halfway. If your neck is on way too much, you can add rings and guide yourself down, because this narrow stance is really going to help you get in a better position. And then you'll notice your squat is going to feel so much better. You're going to feel hamstrings, you're going to feel inner thighs, you're going to feel abs instead of just quads and low back. Again, it looks super easy, but it's really hard. One more. Always soften your knees. If your knees hyperextend, you can't tuck your tail. You can't get hamstrings, you can't get inner thighs. So knees soft between every exercise before you go. And then push the heels into the ground and stand up. Perfect. Last one, inchworm. This one is going to get the shoulder blades to glide around the rib cage and the rib cage to move around the shoulder blades. So I'll show you first. You're going to round a hip width apart. You're going to round over. You're always reaching, pushing yourself away from the ground, just like the other exercises. And you're gonna stop right about here. What you don't want is let your abs sag, so push away. Give me a tap. From here, you're gonna walk with the ankles, not the knees. Butt up in the air, keep your tail tucked in. You should feel a nice stretch all through here. And then you're gonna walk with your hands. Give that a try. Round over. So when he's walking with his hands, he's getting his shoulder blades to glide around his rib cage. Once he gets to the push-up position, make sure you're not shrugging. Now you're gonna walk with your feet. Now you're getting the rib cage to move around the shoulder blades. And then you get shoulder blades to move around the rib cage. Amazing for shoulder health. Gets you really warmed up. You'll feel some abs. And then walk with your feet. Stay right there. Let's say you have tight calves. One of my favorite exercises is this position here. Kind of let the heels go. You should feel stretch in your calves. You're gonna tuck. You shouldn't feel heat and relax your head a little bit. Hanging out here for a few breaths. So that was the warm-up. You can do that at the beginning of your workout, or you can do that as a daily activity to give yourself some leverage when it comes to abs, when it comes to hamstrings, because we overuse our back, we overuse our neck muscles, we overuse our hip flexors. So instead of thinking of stretching everything, I don't like to stretch anything unless I'm giving you something. So let's turn on abs, let's turn on hamstrings so other muscles can finally take a vacation.